Hey, welcome to my studio. In this video, I want to talk to you about my journey from student grade paints to professional grade paints and the difference between the two. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to my studio. In this video, I want to talk to you about the journey that I made early on in my painting career from student grade paint to a professional grade paint, and the reasons behind the decisions I made and what I learned along the way. I don't know about you, but when I first started painting in watercolor, I found it overwhelming, the choices. And all of the products that I was looking at to purchase to get started in my watercolor journey, they were pretty expensive. And so I was, hesitant to spend a lot of money on something that wouldn't be a good investment or I wouldn't be able to use for a long time. And so I'm putting this video together because I really want to help other people navigate those decisions and make this journey successfully with their watercolor. And so here you go. This is my experience. Other people have had other experiences and may disagree with what I have to say here, but I just wanted to share what I learned along the way. On my left here, in the upper left corner, is my very first palette that I purchased, which is a Windsor Newton Cottman student grade paint set. It's called a sketch box. It comes with this nice little box. It's nice and portable, has a lot of advantages to it. Has a little thumb holder in the bottom so you can carry it with you and paint, and convenient lid there that opens up, and then when you open it, you've got this nice mixing area. It's really designed, it's called a sketch box for sketchers. It's designed for going out sketching, plein air, out in the field, painting. And so it caters to people that want to do that. But it's still a student grade box. You can get it for around $39. I'll show this later in the video if you want to stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to talk more about where you can purchase this and the other set that I have here. But so it's a fairly reasonable set for 12 colors. And I'm going to go through and just swatch out a few of the colors. I'm not going to swatch out all of them. And then as I do that, I'm going to compare this student grade set to the set I have here on the upper right, which is a professional grade. But again, let's talk a bit more about the Cottman set and what it means to be student grade. The student grade paint is less expensive, and it's designed for, well, students. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're a beginning painter and you don't want to spend a lot of money. You may be just happy to get a student grade set, just to try this watercolor thing out maybe, and you're not exactly sure you're going to want to continue to do it. And so it's not a bad investment. One reason why the paint, however, is less expensive than professional grade paint is because, most importantly, because they put what's called a binder, more binder in the paint than they do with professional grade. So all watercolor paints have the pigment combined with a binder. You can think of it, it's just holding the pigment together. Okay, so that it can kind of harden into these pans like you see here. By the way, these are called half pans. And so student grade paints have more binder in them than professional grade paints. So as a result, the colors, when you paint with them, tend to be less vibrant. You may have a difficult time getting as bright or vibrant a color, or even as opaque a color as you would like when you use a student grade set. Professional grade paint on the other hand, of course, conversely, has more pigment in it, and therefore the colors tend to be more vibrant and can be more opaque and that kind of thing. Some student grade paints also don't even have the word pigment always, or they will actually use the word hue. And when they do that, it's kind of code for saying, well, it's not exactly a pure pigment. It's a hue similar, it's a color similar to, say, ultramarine blue or whatever, but it's not necessarily a pure pigment. So that's something you want to watch out for. Whereas most professional grade paints use pure pigments, sometimes a combination of a couple pigments, but as a result, again, more vibrant colors. Okay, I have now swatched out the 8 colors that are that I wanted to compare specifically against 8 similar colors in my other professional grade set to the right. And this isn't bad. These are not bad paints. The Windsor Newton Cottman set, again, student grade. The colors are nice and they're going on the paper nicely. I'm using 100% cotton, 140-pound Arches watercolor paper. So I've got good paper here. And, it looks fine, it looks good. But I want to compare this now that I've got these swatches of colors. By the way, the colors I used, basically a lemon yellow, and then a pure red, then an Alizarin Crimson, which is they're very common colors in most sets, Ultramarine Blue, a phthalo blue, a sap green, a yellow ochre, and a burnt sienna. Now right there you have, all 2 reds. We have all the primary colors here along the top, 2 different blues, 2 different reds. We've got the one yellow, we've got a yellow ochre here, we've got a green. And these are just really common colors that you would find in most sets or in most people's palettes. So that's why I chose those 8 colors. So now that I've got the Cottman set swatched out there, I'm going to go back now and I'm going to start painting with this set here. Now, what is this set? This is the second set of paints that I purchased on my watercolor journey when I decided to graduate from a student grade set up to a better quality set. Now, you're going to see at the end, when I show you where I purchased this, it's not that much more expensive to get this professional grade set. But you're going to see here in a second, as I start to paint with these side by side, the vibrancy of these colors is just really, really lovely in comparison. Okay, and I think so. I really fell in love with this Magellan Mission Gold is the name of this professional set, Magellan Mission Gold, and I believe it's that they are manufactured in Korea, and Korea hasn't always been known for watercolor pigments, at least not real well known here in the United States, but they have just really taken off here in the United States and are becoming a really popular set. So there we have our first, like a lemon yellow, and they're similar. I think there's more vibrancy in the yellow here, we see. Maybe more of a pure sense of yellow. Now we're going to go over to our permanent red color. Now this, again, I'm using now this is the Mission Gold, and again you can see just a much stronger color there of the Mission Gold permanent red in comparison to that student grade color. The next color that I have here is Alizarin Crimson, and compare that now, lay that down here next to the other Alizarin Crimson. So now I'm putting down the professional grade paint next to. Now again, it might be that where you're at in your journey with watercolor, student grade paints are great. Again, you may not want to make that commitment, price-wise and all, and you're just trying it out. But again, I want to show you this for not that much more. You can purchase a really great professional grade set, and I just want you to see what I really call just a a more vibrant set of colors that you can achieve using a professional grade set. So that was Alizarin Crimson. Now I'm going to be putting down Ultramarine Blue, again, a really common color on most people's palette. And one thing you'll notice when you're using the student grade sets in comparison to these professionals, you really have to, when you're working with these student grades, you really have to work hard to get the pigments to release or to re-wet and activate so you can pick up the pigments. Whereas when you activate a professional grade set of watercolors, they tend to reactivate much more quickly. And that's really nice because you don't want to, you know, work real hard just to get the pigments off of, you know, off of the pan or off of the palette here. And so you can see that these reactivate and you can pull that pigment up. Really, I don't have to work quite as hard with the professional grade set. This is a phthalo blue, and again, really just the vibrancy of that professional grade set, so much nicer. The next color here is a sap green that I put down, and now I'm going to grab this Mission Gold sap green, which is a really pretty color. And so we have that there. That's really nice. The next color is a yellow ochre. And again, real common color. And I put down some of that here. It's a little bit dull. Sometimes also some of the student grade paints have a tendency to be maybe a little chalkier when they dry. They don't seem to be as transparent, or they don't have a kind of almost a shimmering quality to them as some professional grade paints do. So this is a yellow ochre here. And then last but not least is the burnt sienna, which is on most palettes kind of an orangey brown. And this is the professional grade burnt sienna. So there we go. So now we've got 8 colors side by side. The smaller of the swatches is the student grade Cottman by Windsor Newton. It's a nice little sketch box, 12 colors, half pans, and we see that there. Again, not a bad set. It's a student grade beginner set, and it will work, you know, and I used it for quite a few months before I decided that I wanted to try a little bit nicer set of paint. So I got the Magellan Mission Gold. It has 24 7 milliliter tubes, and it comes in tubes instead of in pans like this. And that's another thing I learned on my journey, is I prefer to buy my paints in tubes that I can squirt into a palette. So one of the disadvantages of a professional grade tube paint is you have to go out and buy a palette. So this palette here that you see did not come with the Mission Gold set. I had to purchase this separately, so that was an additional cost as well. But then you just squeeze out as much of the paints as you want, and they dry real nicely. So then you can close this and travel with it and not have a problem. But then open it up, re-wet them. And again, I think the real advantage and the real value of a professional set of tube paints is just the quality of the pigments, the vibrancy of the color, and really the purity of the pigments that you get, the ability to re-wet quickly, and even beyond that, just a number of other advantages, as I have painted with this for a number of months. Just would really highly recommend, if you can afford it, to graduate up into a professional grade paint. Now, Mission Gold is just one of many. I have actually gone on to even invest in some other paints, like by M. Graham and Daniel Smith, and there are many other great paints. And but this Mission Gold set, the set I'm going to show you here, is real affordable. whereas some of the other paints that I've used are getting to be quite expensive, $10 a tube, for example. But I'm going to show you here where I purchase these different paints, where you can find them on Amazon in the United States, and just compare the prices. So we can see here the Winsor Newton Cottman Watercolor Sketchers Pocket Box here, just $39.99. So this is pretty much the same set that I just was showing you and using here, my student grade set. And so it's around $40. It's a nice little set. So for that price, you can purchase it. And that's the current price. Now, likewise, the Mission Gold. Here we have the Magellan Mission Gold watercolor set, 24 colors, and this is what it looks like on the Amazon site. Again, they're 7 milliliter size tubes, and this is just amazingly just $42. So only for $3 more. Actually, it's even a little less than that. It's only around $2 more. You can get a professional grade set of watercolors. This again has more colors in it. It's 24. They're 7 milliliter tubes, which is really only half size tubes. Normally, some of the other colors are paints that I currently buy. Some other brands come more in more standard sizes of 15 milliliters. So this is half of that. But again, this is a way for you to just try out these paints, buying smaller tubes in a nice variety of colors and at a professional grade level, and only for a couple dollars more than this student grade set that that I just talked about, the Winsor Newton Cottman set. So I hope this is helpful to you, just to get to see side-by-side comparison between student grade and professional, see what these colors look like side by side, and just learn a little bit more about the different brands out there and some of the reasons you might want to consider student grade versus professional grade. If you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can also hit the notification bell and be notified the next time I put out a video. I really appreciate you being here. Again, I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.